Hello dear students, I Rekha Bajaj is welcoming you in my YouTube channel with another poem from your first flight book named Amanda, written by Robin Klein. So let's begin it. Robin Klein was an Australian author and she was born on 28 February 1936 in Campsie, New South Wales. She had written many books for children and worked in number of jobs before becoming an established writer, and her first short story published at the age of 16. Her notable works are Hating Alison Ashley, Halfway Across the Galaxy and Turn Left, Came Back to Snow, You I Could Fly, Boss of the Pool, etc. This poem, Amanda, very effectively describes the dilemma of a teenage when he or she feels that his or her freedom is curtailed. Parents sometimes instruct the children to do or not to do a certain thing, but the children think it to be an intrusion in their privacy and they want to live peacefully in their own way. Here, Amanda is a teenage girl whose parents are always nagging her about what to do and what not to do. This frequent interference makes her unhappy. It seems her as if she is not free to do anything that she wants to do, and she wants to escape all this and to live in her world of imaginations. Now, let's see the explanation. Don't bite your nails, Amanda. Don't hunch your shoulders, Amanda. Stop that slouching and sit up straight, Amanda. Here, hunch means raise one's shoulders and bend the top of one's body forward. Next word, slouching, which means the action or fact of standing, moving, or sitting in a lazy way. In these lines, Amanda is getting instructed, most probably by her mother, for biting nails and asks her to sit straight without bending her shoulders. Amanda, who has habit of bending her shoulders and sitting lazily, is being pointed out because her mother wants her to sit in the right posture. So here the poetess focuses on the aspects related to the upbringing of a child and how parents go to any limits to bring proper sense in their child. In this poem, you can see that paragraph 2nd, 4th and 6th are given in bracket because these are the thoughts or desires of Amanda in between the instructions that is being given by her mother. So let's see, what does she want? There is a languid emerald sea where the sole inhabitant is me, a mermaid drifting blissfully. Languid means having or showing a disinclination for physical exertion or effort. In other words, relaxed. Emerald is referred to the green color of emerald stone. Mermaid is an imaginary sea creature with the head and trunk of a woman and the tail of a fish. Drifting means carried slowly by a current of air or water. Blissfully means extreme happiness or joy. Now see, when Amanda is being scolded by her mother, she imagines herself to be in a green deep sea. She says that she wants to be the only resident of this beautiful green sea. She imagines herself like a mermaid, a creature with a woman's head and body and a fish's tail, and moves freely and happily in the sea water. So we can say that she feels suffocated in the real world and thus find peace in her own created world where there are no restrictions, no disturbance. Let's continue the next stanza. Did you finish your homework, Amanda? Did you tidy your room, Amanda? I thought I told you to clean your shoes, Amanda. The word tidy means arrange neatly and in order. So here, Amanda is now being asked by her mother whether she has done her homework or not. Then she asks her whether she has cleaned her room or not. She is also reminded to clean her shoes. So we can see that the mother is constantly asking her questions one by one, and she is being disciplined for every little things. But what about Amanda? What does she want after listening to her mother's instructions? Let's see in next para. I am an orphan roaming the street. I pattern soft dust with my hushed bare feet. The silence is golden, the freedom is sweet. Here I refers to Amanda. Hushed means very quiet and still. Bare means not clothed or covered. Now see, Amanda is again lost into her own world, and she imagines herself to be an orphan who is roaming aimlessly around the street. She thinks if she would have been without parents, she would have walked freely in the street. She would have drawn design very quietly on the soft dust with her uncovered feet. In other words, we can say that she wants to play in dust with her bare feet. Moreover, she is so fed up of these constant instructions from her mother that she wants to lead a silent and peaceful life. She loves freedom and she thinks that freedom is the sweetest thing of life. That is why she says, "The silence is golden, the freedom is sweet." Now see how her mother again drags her out of her dream. Don't eat that chocolate, Amanda. Remember your acne, Amanda. Will you please look at me when I am speaking to you, Amanda? Acne refers to pimples. Amanda's mother is asking her not to eat chocolate because that would cause pimples, which usually happens with teenagers at this stage as their body is undergoing many changes. Her mother further asks her to look at her while she is talking to her, as these are not good manners and it shows that you are being disrespected towards the one who is talking to you. We can see Amanda's name is repeated with an exclamation mark. It shows that the mother seems to be losing her temper. Now see Amanda's reaction. I am Rapunzel. I have not a care. Life in a tower is tranquil and rare. I will certainly never let down my bright hair. Tranquil means free from disturbance or peaceful. At this moment, Amanda imagines herself to be Rapunzel. Who was Rapunzel? Rapunzel was the name of a German fairy tale character who had very long, beautiful golden hair. She was captured by a witch in a tower. The witch used to climb the tower with the help of long hair of Rapunzel that were let down by her through the window. Here, Amanda wants to be that Rapunzel as she is fascinated by Rapunzel's life in tower. Because she feels that life in a tower will be peaceful and unusual as no one will be able to reach there. But being Rapunzel, she will never let her hair down for anyone, so that nobody could come and disturb in her peace. Now let's see the last stanza. Stop that sulking at once, Amanda. You are always so moody, Amanda. Anyone would think that I nagged at you, Amanda. Here, sulking means to be silent and unpleasant because you are angry or annoyed. Nagged means to scold complain, or find fault constantly. Here, Amanda's mother warns her for behaving in a very odd manner. She asks her not to feel unhappy or scolds her of having such an unstable mood. She says that her behavior will one day make people think that Amanda is constantly being nagged by her mother. Though Amanda is always pointed out by her mother on every small things, but she cannot react to this, as other would think that Amanda's mother is very dominating towards her child. So we can see parents try hard to make their children well behave, especially in front of society, and give them too many instructions. But they do not give them enough space to explore on their own, and thus the child feels his or her freedom is curtailed. Now see the message that the poem conveys. Parents should not force their thoughts and ideas on their child. Instead, they should try to understand what their child wants. Next, excess of nagging may make children disobedient and they may develop dislike for elders. At last, see the poetic devices used in the poem. Now see, anaphora is used. Repeated use of a word at the start of two or more lines. It is used in stanza first and third as the word don't and did is repeated at the start of two lines. Then metaphor is used. In this figure of speech, a comparison is made between two things or ideas, but the word of comparison is not used as in this poem. In stanzas 2nd, 4th and 6th, Amanda compares herself first with a mermaid, then with an orphan and finally with Rapunzel. We can find the example of alliteration also. In line, stop that slouching and sit up straight. Here, the sound S is repeated. Next line, life in a tower is tranquil and rare. Here, the sound T is repeated. Next poetic device is repetition, as the word Amanda is repeated in the poem. So, this is all for this chapter. I hope you would have understood the lesson. Goodbye and take care.